Hello and welcome to a very, very special Comics Pals interview. Of course, I am Sean, joined today by one of my favorites, one of the darkest, most demonic forces in the industry that also happens to have a heart of gold. I'm here with Tales of Mystery writer, Butts and Seats writer, Amazon #1 best-selling graphic novel writer, Dirk Manning.
Right on, man. I was conflicted. Like, do I do the heart? Do I do the horns? Do I do both? But no, man. Thank you for having me on. It's good to see you, especially relatively soon after New York Comic Con too, which was nice to see you there as well, man. So I always appreciate getting to chat with you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Likewise, we actually did get to chat at New York Comic Con. We are a little backed up on our interviews. That one is still coming, but we wanted to give you guys a little something. The Tales of Mystery Volume 5 Kickstarter is on now. And we couldn't let this pass without us talking about it and getting you guys something to kind of chew on. So, yeah, absolutely. Since the last time we talked, a lot has come out. The Kickstarter has begun and has been extremely successful. I'm going to tell the people exactly how successful we're talking here. So the goal,
people won't accuse me of putting myself over. I'm just gonna,
I got it.
Hold on.
The goal the goal is $13,000, right?
Yes, sir.
To this point, with 10 days to go, we are at $23,389. 242 lovely people have backed this Kickstarter so far. How are you feeling about those numbers?
It's wild, man. I used to kind of felt like I ran October a little bit in Kickstarter back in the day. SourcePoint Press alone, who we're publishing Tales of Mystery with, had multiple Kickstarters, creators doing Kickstarters going on in October. So the fact that several of my peers at the company had campaigns going on, along with all these other campaigns just in the world going on, plus we're post-pandemic, we're just by the pandemic, to have this level of support with 10 days left is amazing. We are only, I think we're less than $300 away from unlocking what I anticipated to be the ultimate stretch goal, which I know we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah,
but we've unlocked 10 stretch goals so far in 20 days. We broke 20K in 10 days. It's amazing. And I know you and I have had this conversation before about how Mystery is like, if I had to write one series for the rest of my life or until its natural conclusion, it would be Tales of Mystery. And as a result, I'm always especially vulnerable with this property, and I always want him to do well, and Lord knows that, there's been, hiccups in Mystery's life in the story and otherwise. So to be at this point where, like you said, we're over 23,000 with 10 days left on a $13,000 goal, 10 stretch goals unlocked. We're about to unlock the ultimate stretch goal. I was on the phone with SourcePoint today, lining up additional possible stretch goals.
Oh, wow.
We got 10 days left, and me, I'm going to keep paying it forward till the last moment of the campaign. So
there you go.
So long answer to short question, it feels awesome. I'm grateful. I'm humbled. And I appreciate everyone backing the campaign. And I hope everyone recognizes that I'm continuing to pay it forward, not only with an awesome book, an awesome omnibus, awesome stretch goals, awesome Kickstarter exclusive perks. And I'm ready to bring Mystery back.
Well, let's talk about what people can get out of this, what you're getting out of this if you have already pledged, if this is a project that you're excited about, and then what people who may not have pulled the trigger yet or maybe don't even know what this is yet, what they're kind of getting out of this. So first of all, as a fan of Tales of Mystery for quite some time now, I think I got into it when there was only one volume. That maybe there were two, but it was in those early days.
Right.
Yeah. This is a cool story for people. I feel like if you're into like Doctor Strange to some degree, I think I've been watching I've been watching, this is random, but I've been watching X-Files recently, and some of
Okay.
the like skepticism aspects of that show, and
Yeah.
things like that. And it's just a really cool story that's kind of in a post-apocalyptic world where magic and monsters are real, but not everybody believes it, and there's all these like conspiracies and things like that. It touches on a lot of different areas. And that's what I like about it. In this particular volume, Rockstar Paranoia, it stretches back actually and kind of ties in with Nightmare World, which is pretty cool. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, big time. Tales of Mystery Volume 5, Rockstar Paranoia, starts Act 2 of the series, which is ultimately going to be a 3-act play, I guess, for lack of a better word. And a lot of, and you touched on this, Sean, that the first 4 volumes of Tales of Mystery really kind of set the stage for everything. It's like I said, you think of like the first act of a play. And if you think about the fact that we're talking about 550 pages to really set the stage and set the big picture, that's a little bit of a different style of storytelling. And that's not to say that everything along the way wasn't engaging, but ideally what people experience as they read the first 4 volumes is, oh my gosh, I thought it was this story about this lone magician monster hunter.
Yeah.
And it's this much bigger thing. And by the time you get to the end of volume 4, it's like, wow, okay, now we're in volume 5. Volume 5 starts Act 2. All the pieces are in play and things like that. Now we really start to get kind of rocking and rolling, no pun intended. And a lot of plot points from Nightmare World are going to be revisited, and some of them resolved in Tales of Mystery Volume 5, including one particular plot point all the way back from Nightmare World Volume 2. And I'll give you an exclusive. I know you always like to get an exclusive.
Oh,
I will
yes,
I will
we
give
love
this
that.
to you. We've got 10 days left of the campaign. The Nightmare World 2 story, for those about to rock, we salute you, with the kid that wanted to be a heavy metal singer and sold his soul to the devil and then joined a boy band. The Glamour Boys. The Glamour Boys return in Tales of Mystery Volume 5.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and there's other stuff as well. There's a lot of layers to what's going on, but that is definitely part of it. And this is one of those things, like that long-term storytelling. I always knew where that story was going, and I always knew where it was going to end. And I'll tell you, with Tales of Mystery Volume 5, the total mystery page count, were you to get the omnibus of the first 4 volumes and then get Volume 5, puts us about 700 pages. And yeah, right. It's not lost on me that the privilege I have of getting to be 700 pages deep in this story. I think I did that the other day. It's like 32 issues, which is a lot for a creator-owned book. So yeah, getting to harken back, and not to mention Cthulhu, obviously, from Nightmare World, coming back. The Glamour Boys are back, and there's some other things. Gosh, I'll say this, even though I shouldn't say this. I'm going to
Bring
say
it on. Bring it
I
on.
know, you bring out the best in the worst at the same time. We saw at the end of Volume 4 that Thelma Lushkin and Dumashine and Lucifer in play and starting to put things together. We've unlocked a bonus comic, and one of the bonus stories, called Friends in Low Places, revisits some stuff going on with Lucifer and how he's kind of starting to put the pieces together of what's been happening. And then Sencour, who did While You Sleep, I Destroy Your World from Nightmare World Volume 2, the Sherlock Holmes story, which may be my favorite. I don't want to say favorite, but it may be, like, I think one of the best Nightmare World stories I ever wrote, came back to do that bonus story.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, this package is incredible. So, whether people get Tales of Mystery just Volume 5, whether they get the omnibus and Volume 5, there's going to be a lot of threads to Nightmare World as well. But all that being said, I want to say this too. You can read Tales of Mystery Volume 5. And it's a perfect jumping on point for the series. If you've heard about this series, or you just want to treat yourself to something new and get all these cool bonuses, including a free video game download, jump into Volume 5. And if you like it, you can go back and you can get the omnibus of the first 4 volumes from SourcePoint. Mind you, it won't be the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover version, but it will be available. It will be out there. Now, you want to treat yourself? You want to get the hardcover? You got 10 days. or whatever that is from when this airs, a week.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned a video game. And I was gonna like go down the list of all the cool stuff that's
Right,
coming, but
right, right.
we'll just cut to the chase. Man, you got a damn video game coming out for Tales of Mr. What are we doing?
Insane.
Where's this going? You got a video game. Can we
I
talk
know.
about that?
Yeah, I wanted to do something special for this, and Austin McKinley, all credit to Austin McKinley. Austin McKinley was the original series colorist for the first half of Volume 1. He really set like that noir grayscale palette of Volume 1. He has illustrated stories and Tales of Mystery Volume 3. He's done stuff in Nightmare World. And he's the illustrator of Tales of Mystery Volume 5. Alessandro De Fornassari is doing the color and letters. Austin is incredibly multi-talented. He is a filmmaker. He is a colorist. He is an illustrator. He is a cartoonist, and he's a video game designer.
Wow.
Yeah. And when we were talking about what to do for Volume 5 in the omnibus, I said, man, wouldn't it be amazing if we did a Tales of Mystery video game? And Austin's a genius. He's like, yeah, man, let's do it. And I said, no, Austin, I'm serious. I want to do this. And he goes, no, man, yeah, me too. And I said, I hope you're not kidding, because I'm not kidding. No, I'm not. And yeah, so I figured it like, and again, and I know I say this all the time, and people probably get tired of me saying it, but it's true. I mean this sincerely. I thought like the last day or two of the campaign, we'd be grinding towards that video game. We got 10 days left and we're less than $300 away from it. Like one person getting picked to get drawn into Volume 6 and then kicks in $2 more. Boom. We not only unlock the video game for everyone that backs for hardcover, but we also become the first comic book Kickstarter in history to offer people a free video game based on that, a free video game, let alone based on that comic. So yeah, it's a side scroller. It's called Tales of Mystery, Punch All Monsters. And I posted a graphic of it on the Kickstarter page, which is at talesofmystery.com, or if you go to Kickstarter, just search RHEE. But it's I get an Infinity Fighter style game. Austin's been sending me little GIFs and stuff with the characters, the pixel sprites.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's your mystery, and you got to punch all the monsters. Good luck. He punches enough, he gets some magic, and then you get to do some magic stuff. But
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's mind blowing. It's just such a cool thing. And Austin is, I've said since day one, Austin is one of the nicest guys in comics, and he's such a good dude. And to be able to do this, and for us to be able to do this, this is game changing. I've known friends for years that say, "Oh, I'm going to make a video game based on my comic," and me, don't talk about it, be about it.
Sure.
Here I am, and I'm giving it to everyone for free for backing the campaign. As long as you back for the Volume 5 hardcover, the omnibus hardcover, or ideally both books, because that gets you Volume 1 in full color and the omnibus for the first time, and that gets you everything. And that James O'Barr freaking cover,
which is awesome. And by the way, I want to show you guys some of this art. So I'm going to put some art into this. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have some cool goodies for you guys to look at. The covers are great. Even some of the interior art that's here on the Kickstarter page is awesome. There's some really, really nice imagery here, and it's fun because every volume of Tales of Mystery has a different kind of flavor to it.
Right.
And it's fun to kind of track that and see, it's almost like when a new creative team comes on to Spider-Man and you're like, oh man, what's the new artist going to bring to it? How are they going to change it up? How's the story going to evolve because of this artist? That's fun to track with this series.
Thank you. And that's the thing too, it's like, I knew coming into Volume 5 that I needed a very specific style of artist to do this volume. And Austin McKinley, his work is so cinematographic. I think it's a word. He has such a strong sense of cinematography in the way he illustrates. And I knew I would need that for this. I've worked with very talented artists on Tales of Mystery, and got to work with some of them several times. And I also knew I needed a specific art style for volume 5, and Austin was the guy. You know, again, spoiler, it came down to Austin or Mariana Piscosta.
She's amazing.
She's super amazing. Like, Austin is super amazing. And the way it worked out, Austin was the way to go. But then I still brought in Alessandro Fornassari to color it.
Right.
And it's so funny because I've been able to show virtually nothing from inside this book without giving stuff away. Like the images you see on the Kickstarter page, I'd like pull teeth to get those because almost every freaking page of this 140-page book is a spoiler, and it's like, I've had to be so careful in what I show, legit, man. It's nuts. Even when we were doing the video and putting in random art, I'm like, no, we can't show that. We can't show that. We can't show that. So having Alessandro and Austin together is an incredible pairing because Alessandro normally only colors Mariana. And man, some of the art stuff they do in this, it's just incredible. You can see why Alessandro is a Ringo Award nominated color.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's good. And we're pairing him with Austin style and some of these really bold, like European choices he did in the coloring. When you get to the rock concert part of the book, it clicks, man. It's like it clicks all the way through, but then you're like, oh wow, okay,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get my hands on this.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for everyone to get to, and I'm excited to be with Source Point Press. I mean, I'm super stoked about this.
So you said that this is the start of Act 2, a 3-act sort of story here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk at all about how long Act 2 is going to be? There are going to be more reveals and more cool crossovers and things like that. Is that the trend here? Are the doors just blown off?
People that know me, I'm sure, can probably extrapolate how many volumes will be in the whole series, especially if you figure that Act 1 was 4 volumes. It's 3 volumes altogether. I have certain motifs in what I do. So I will just trichstechophobia, anyone? So I will just leave it at that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I the ending of volume 5 is going to wreck people. Fact, stone cold fact. When I saw it illustrated, even having written it, my heart was like literally, no exaggeration. I mean, no, even knowing what was coming and seeing the final page. Oh my gosh. It was just like, we're the pedals to the metal now. That's all I'm going to say. And yeah, the pedals to the metal. That's all I'm going to say, man. That's all I'm going to say. But I know the course of the whole story. I know where it's going to go. I anticipate it being a certain amount of volumes. Mm-hmm. There's definitely a trajectory. There's definitely an end point. This is a finite series, even though it's going to be a big one. It is a finite one, but it's long. We did 550 pages in Act 1. In 4 volumes. So kind of, do the math. I don't want to say anything specific, but
I mean, I've got to guess.
I bet your guess is correct, so we don't even have to talk about it. I have certain motifs, and that is the plan. That is the plan.
Well, I want to get into a little bit of what you can get for your pledge, because again, at this point, we're almost completely through the campaign. We've almost unlocked every single stretch goal, which is, it's cool. It's very, very cool. The ultimate stretch goal, we've got the video game. We talked about how cool that is. But even before that, things you are all, if the campaign stopped now, right? Let's say it was over now and there was nothing else coming, you would be getting the art print on the omnibus signed by James O'Barr.
Right. A separate print of that cover image, right? Signed by me and James O'Barr.
That's really, really cool. No pun intended.
It blows my mind. It's like Jim O'Barr was like, The Crow was one of the first comics I ever read to get into comics. So to have James O'Barr signing prints of my character for all of us, all the backers, is Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I'm always fascinated by is you guys, and when I say you guys, I mean creators who have kind of, been doing this for a while, built a certain level of stature. You get to work sometimes with your idols, and the people that you came up
Yeah.
reading, engaging with their work. What's it like for you whenever you get the opportunity to like actually work with someone of that stature in any capacity?
I first started meeting James O'Barr when I was like 17 years old, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So whenever I'm in front of him, and James, if you're watching this, I apologize. I've dealt with James personally, professionally. I still become that 17-year-old kid, like,
That's
hello,
cool.
sir. Like the other guy was like, that was Harlan Ellison all the time. Like,
Oh,
hello, sir. You know, and I was at Ace Chicago when he was started messaging me about he was sitting down to paint the cover. And he started like busting my balls a little bit, like messing with me, like ribbing me on the cover. He's like, and like sending me jokes and stuff like that. And I just almost didn't want to take it because this is one of my the guy that created one of the most, he created a book that changed the trajectory of my life. He created a work of art that literally the reason I'm sitting here now in a room full of comics, making comics, talking to you about comics, doing Comic Cons is because of the Crow. So
wow.
yeah, to not only own that painting now that he did of my most personal character, and now like even when I talked about signing him, I was like went up to him like, I saw we were at a con together, and I kind of creep over him like, hello sir, how are you? And I was wondering if we do this campaign, if you would mind if I gave you a little bit of a stipend, and if I paid for the shipping and bought you markers, would you mind signing them? And James like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Like, okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'll just email you. It's like, yeah. Okay, thank you, sir. There's like scamper away, like, you know. So yeah, it's incredible, man. It's incredible. He's one of those few guys that I almost get like the nervous sweats now talking about it. He's such a good guy. He's very nice, very low key, just cool dude, and to be in this position to be able to offer that is one of the stretch goals to all of you, to
Yeah.
be able to share that joy with you, and for people to get a signed print by James O'Barr for free is just one of the things.
Right.
It's an honor.
And again, like that's included, like that's baked in. I think that's
Yeah.
something that's so cool about Kickstarter is that you do get so much for your money. Like for any, any good Kickstarter, I feel you're paying whatever you're paying for your pledge, but then there's all
Right.
these extra cool things that get added on just
Right.
by virtue of you supporting.
Right. That's how I do it. Not everyone does it that way, but that's to me, it's a pay it forward. To me, it's a situation where I want to pay it forward to you, the backers, people who support the campaign, give you more stuff. So yeah, that's just one of the things that you get. There's all other things too. There's tons of stuff you're getting.
Yeah, like the bonus print comic, digital comic stories. It's just like it's such a laundry list of things.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember if you said this on air that maybe there could be other things.
Yeah. So where we're at now is you get the sticker, you get a book plate, Kickstarter, and all this stuff is this stuff's all Kickstarter exclusive. See the sticker, then you get the Kickstarter exclusive book plate, signed by me, signed by Austin, remarked head sketch by Austin McKinley on it. You get a bonus comic with 2 Kickstarter exclusive stories, mystery stories in print that are not going to be reprinted anywhere else in the trade paperback. These are Kickstarter exclusive comic. You are getting the print signed by James O'Barr. We're about to unlock the video game. And then to your point, I just was on the phone with Source Point today about like having to unlock more stretch goals. How much can we trick out? How much can we trick out the omnibus? I mean, I understand we live in a different world than we did in 2016 or whatever, but I got ideas.
Well,
Got ideas. We'll see what I can get away with. I mean, printing costs are different, and we live in
that looks cool.
we live in a different world right now. But people might remember the leather bound
Yes.
Nightmare World Bible with the gold, and I'm not promising this, but
Oh, that would be cool. That
we'll
would be
see.
cool.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see what I can get away with. And someone right now, Source Point is screaming like, "Shut up, shut up!" But we'll see. We'll see what we can. We'll see what we can make happen for everybody.
Well, how could we not mention what you actually showed me in person, which I thought was amazing. That is also a part of this campaign is the
A
figure,
statue.
the statue. Yeah.
Yeah. Teaming up with 6is1 Media, Les Garner, to do the Tales of Mystery statues. We're limiting those to 13 copies. Yeah, and again, something awesome to do. I feel a little bit bad because there's so much awesome stuff in this campaign. I feel like people don't know where to jump. Like we're offering Rhee beanies, we're offering hats with the Rhee sigil. We're offering those incredible statues, limited to 13 copies. Maybe down the road we'll make some busts or something, some like mini versions of like the bust, but that's fine. The statue is super limited, and there's gonna be 13 of them. There's that number again. And that's it.
Yeah. 13 as of like when you started. Right now there's only 8 left.
Right.
So not to be missed.
No, and again, a pledge for a statue unlocks the video game for everybody. So if you're watching this and we're not there yet, which I mean we very well may be by the time this airs, but that unlocks the video game, or pushes towards unlocking more stretch goals, depending what Source Point Press is going to let me get away with.
Well, I want to ask you about sort of, when you do a Kickstarter and it's successful, I think we would all kind of agree that like it's not easy to do this, right? And so something that I see you do, something that I see some other creators who I follow do, is when they've got a Kickstarter that's doing really well or has done well, they like to sort of pay it forward and talk about other people's Kickstarters or Kickstarters that, they have decided that they want to jump on board with.
Right.
Is that something that's important to you to kind of use your platform because you do have these successful Kickstarters to kind of give other people that bump?
Yeah. And sometimes I do that just by talking to people on the side about strategies for how to run their campaign. Sometimes I'll put out in my updates, by the way, here's something else. It really depends on people's level of comfort. Some people are very fiercely independent and they want to do it their own and they don't want a bump or the rub, like they say in wrestling. They don't want that. They want to do it their own way. There's a lot of people who I've helped privately over the years, and I'm not saying that to put myself over, but I'm not like a Brian Polito level guy, but I've done all right. I've done almost $500,000 on Kickstarter.
Good.
Closing in on it, so yeah, I'm very big on paying it forward and everything. I mean, that's just something that I believe in. I can only hope other people do the same, and yeah. So sometimes I'll promote Kickstarters that other people are doing publicly. I'll share them. I'll give people advice on it. Sometimes I'll do like a backer swap, or not backer swap, I guess, like a campaign swap where we like share each other's campaigns and an update. Sure. Absolutely. Because you know what? I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, if you're promoting someone else's stuff, you're taking away from your own. And that's not the name of the game. I really believe that we have an obligation to help lift each other up and support each other. A high tide raises all ships.
There you go.
I mean, that's it. There's a lot of people in this world that want to get farther by tearing other people down, but that's at best short-term gain. Focus on the positive, focus on what you think is productive, and support that stuff. Use your energy to get that stuff out there. Promote your friends, promote the stuff you like. I watched a movie the other day that I really wanted to like. I didn't like it at all. You know what that movie was?
Which one? Eternals?
No, I liked Eternals. I talked about it. But you know which one I didn't like? No. And you'll never know unless we talk about it privately, because I'm not going to go on social media and use my social media to crap on something.
Right.
Now, Eternals, I did say on Instagram, I went into it not sure if I'd like it, and I really, really liked it. That's fine. because I think a lot of people are that way. Like, oh, I've heard negative reviews of this movie. I'm like, look, it's 10, it stars 10 people,
Yeah.
for starters, it's like this massively diverse, amazing cast. It's beautiful cinematography.
Yep.
It's not a perfect movie, but there are very few perfect movies out there. But this was really good, and I really liked it. Conversely, like I said, a couple days before that, I watched a movie I was really excited to see and was really let down.
Oh, I think I know what movie you're talking about.
Well, we'll talk later.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll talk off the air. We'll compare notes. I didn't like it. And as a result, I'm not talking about online. Now, there's always that knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, I can get some hate clicks. And,
Right.
There's even studies that now show that a lot of social media is literally designed to weigh heavier negative reactions to things. Which, again, that just makes me, laugh's probably not the right word, but it makes me exasperated when people still fall into this trap of just like complaining about stuff online. And,
Sure.
but it's like, there's that part because you want engagement on your posts, because you want people to see what you're doing so they can then see your projects and stuff. But again, it's like, no, I want to keep my center, and I'm not going to go bash this film online just to get people to engage in it. Instead, I talked about the Eternals, which I really liked, and I would recommend everyone go see.
I agree with everything you just said. As a person who just did a review of Eternals in which I said I didn't like it. So, there you go. Well,
your job as a critic is to be honest.
Right.
But you have a job as a critic.
Yeah.
I am a comic book creator and a fan. There's a difference, Yeah. I did music journalism for years, and I would not review an album or that I didn't like unless it was a band I normally liked and I really wanted to like the album it did. And some people used to give me hell about it, like, oh, well, you only give positive reviews. And I said, that's not it. If someone blindly sends me an album, or I'm blindly assigned an album by the editor, and if I don't like it, I give it back and say, give this to this guy. I think he would be able to give you a more honest review. If you went into the Eternals liking most Marvel movies and thought you would like it and didn't, so be it. Or it's your job as a journalist, as part of the Comic Pals, to talk about your opinion. But that's why people are going to plug into your show to hear, here's this diverse group of people. What is Sean's take versus this person's take versus this person's take on the movie? That's different than me getting on social media at midnight. Oh, F the Eternals. It's just get out of here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm all about the positivity, and I think there's a way to have a conversation about something you don't like that's constructive. Like, I love it whenever I see on Twitter a conversation about something that's like, I didn't love this, here's why, and here are these like logical reasons that I didn't feel connected to this. That's different than jumping on and saying, oh, this sucked. This sucked is not constructive.
Right. And Twitter not only has no context, but Twitter has very little nuance. And it's not designed to be. It's designed to be these short little bird vomits of information, like the mama bird puking in the baby's mouth, like bleh, 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 So, right. And that's why I appreciate shows like yours as well, that we can have conversations about it. I would love to talk sometime about movies and things like that, but our time is always limited. And right now, people need to go check out Tales of Mystery.
Absolutely. And that's
get all those stretch goals, right?
I do want to ask you one more off-topic question, just because, again, as you said, we never get to speak. Something that's been on my mind a lot lately is how writers sort of inject themselves into stories that they're telling. Because, you write, they say, write what you know, and what do you know more than yourself, right? And I don't think it's weird that happens. There was a Twitter thing that was going on a couple of weeks ago where people were saying, oh, it's weird that writers will self-insert. That term, self-insert, and I think it's weird that people think that's weird. What else would you do?
I'm kind of trying to chew on that, and I'm like, I mean, all art is an extension of the self. So to somehow attempt to shame or villainize, I don't know. I guess I'd really have to. I always try to presume positive intent, so I'd really have to try to figure out and process what's the positive intent in potentially shaming that. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, my question is, especially as I stare at this extremely sweet cover for Rockstar Paranoia Tales of Mystery Volume 5,
Yeah.
is that, you know, from a certain point of view, that character, especially holding the microphone, what appears to be a microphone, although it's
It is a
probably
microphone.
not.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it is a microphone.
Okay.
I will say that.
You know, and staring up against this monstrous Cthulhu-esque creature that could be a stand-in for,
right.
Could be a stand-in for, you know, some of the mountains that you have had to climb in life. I'm just saying, I see things, and I'm wondering, you know, how much of yourself is in these stories. You don't need to say how or why necessarily, but
Sure.
you know, how does that work out for you?
You know, I started Tales of Mystery on June 6, 2006. 666.
Wow.
One page a week at nightmareworld.com. That's where we start. And I knew then the big story. Okay. The big story. Not every beat per se. There's characters that have evolved and changed and things like that, of course. But I knew the general theme of the story, the gist of the story, where I wanted it to go. One of the themes of Tales of Mystery has always been this mass denial of fact, wantingly by society. You know,
Yep.
This is a society that knows monsters and demons are real. They lived through the 3 days of darkness. Monsters and demons were everywhere, and everyone wants to be convinced now that they're gone. So they're denying this threat that is real and could very well kill them. I did not know in 2006 that was going to be the 2020, 2021 reality.
Yep.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah. It was supposed to be parody through horror. It was supposed to be like this Kafka-esque, the nakedness of man when faced with the absurd. Of here's this marginalized person who's trying to warn everyone the threat is still there. It is still real. It is going to come back. It is going to get us. And here we are. We live in that world now, and we weren't. And it blows my mind. So yeah, the cover, which Richard Lang did an amazing job on this cover. He's the illustrator for Cthulhu Wars for Peterson Games. Again, a lifeless artist I wanted to work with. I was so honored to have him do this and do such an amazing cover. This cover, I think, partially symbolizes that in the times we're in right now. Here's Mystery with a microphone, holding it up like a wand, like a weapon against Cthulhu, this massive threat, the biggest threat in the series has seen to date. You know, and part of you might go, "Don't you forget about me," you know, but yeah, well, you never get that out of your head now. So yeah, you know, all personal stuff aside, even societally speaking, you know, this monstrous, huge, looming threat and mystery standing up to it with a microphone. All of Act One, Mystery's been in the shadows. You know, he's this guy who, even when you read Volume 1, it's like, oh, I got your number from someone, or oh, he's helping a homeless person. Oh. I don't want to give away too much of what Volume 5 is about, but I've already told you there's a rock concert. We know there's an evil heavy metal band trying to re-summon Cthulhu.
Indeed.
And Mystery's got to stop it. We also saw in Volume 4 that the flaming sigil in the sky, and that people are. Volume 5 is going to start with Mystery waking up in a world very different than the one he went to sleep to. You know, and again, I don't want to say too much because I want to spoil too much, but the game has changed. You know, the battle with Ranibus and stuff like that changed the game irreversibly. It's changed Mystery's world irreversibly. And I think you're very astute in noticing some very strong symbolism in that cover, personally and professionally. and from a storytelling perspective, because there's Mr. Rhee holding up a microphone against this monstrous threat, and there's a lot of people that scream, speak truth to power, but there's also a lot of people that just scream. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're very astute, and you're right. The cover is very symbolic on several levels, and we live in an interesting age, man. We live in an age where some people scream about the tyranny of the majority. We live in an age where some people scream the tyranny of the minority. But to me, everyone's just screaming, and there's very real dangers out there, and maybe we need to focus on that. And that's one of the big things you're going to see in Rhee 5 is that what people do with the microphone.
I love it. I love it. I think that's a great sort of encapsulation of what we can expect here. It's cool. It's cool. As a person who's been following the story for a really long time, it's cool to be at this point and to see, the story kind of take a different direction, following up from obviously how insane volume 4 was. We do have to close out because, unfortunately, Dirk has work to do at night.
The Dirk work never stops.
Exactly. But before we close out, I wanted to add my pledge.
Oh, right on.
Yes, absolutely. So I am a long-term fan, but I decided that I actually want the omnibus of Act 1 because that's super cool to have it in one, one collected edition.
And if I may, in the omnibus, volume 1 is going to be in full color for the first and only time in the omnibus.
Right. And that's also super cool, is that it's in full color. This is like,
it's not saying it now. Yeah.
not saying this is you saying this. I'm saying this is like the final coolest version of Tales of Mystery yet. So that's the version I want. So I am choosing the both books tier. And let's see. I am done.
I'm going to go ahead and refresh. I've had it up on the screen right
now. Do I just here we go. Yeah. Boom.
Let me look.
Oh, well, it's making me create an account or something. I'm a little lost in the tech.
That's fine. That's fine. It's going in and I'm excited.
There it goes. There it
went. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So awesome. Pledge completed. I will be posting a picture of that on social media. You should be able to refresh now, by the way. It should be up.
I saw the funniest thing, John. The little ticker just went went up. It's the funniest thing. That's one of the coolest things when you get to do a Kickstarter. If you ever do one, like if you're watching a browser, like the numbers like so I'm going to check real quick as of this writing, just so you know. I'll push us towards the game, and we are now, as of this, oh my gosh, $192 away from unlocking the video game.
It's a done deal. Oh,
I'm gonna have to get more stretch goals, Sean.
And how could I not pledge when I need this game? How else would I get the game?
Oh my gosh. Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate this opportunity, and I appreciate all of you backing it. You can go to talesofmystery.com or just go to kickstarter.com, type in Rhee, RHEE, and it's volume 5 in the omnibus. Check it out. Again, if you like horror noir, you like Cthulhu, you like what we're talking about here, check out volume 5. I personally think at least the both books is the way to go. Pledge your level of comfort, and thank you. I really appreciate all of you doing that. Sean, I appreciate you as well, man. Thank you. It's such a pleasure.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on board and chatting with me about this. I'm excited. I hope that listeners are getting excited about it. If you've never given Tales of Mystery a chance, I mean, if you're a longtime listener, you've heard me sing the praises over many years at this point. So now's a great time. And if you're a new listener, I'm telling you, it's good. I like it. And I have good taste. So thank you so much, Dirk, for joining us. We will have a link to the Kickstarter if you just want to click on the link and get right to that. We will have a link in the description. Thank you for listening to us. Let them know where they can find you on social before we close out.
At Dirk Manning at Facebook, Instagram, God help me, even Twitter. Look for the guy, picture of the guy at the top end of the scarf. That's me. Looks similar to this. That would be me.
There you go.
And yeah, or dirkmanning.com is my website. You can sign up for my newsletter there. I send out a newsletter once a month there as well. Or you can find archives of several of our conversations here at the Comic Pals as well. So you can check that out as well.
Yes, absolutely. YouTube.com/the Comics Pals to see this video, to see this interview, if you're just listening to it, and subscribe, because there's a lot of other cool interviews and things like that going on over there. Keep abreast of everything that we're putting out. Thank you so much for listening. For Dirk, I'm Sean saying until next time, take care, guys.
Thank you.